How's it
Hello,
going?
how you doing?
Oh, doing well, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Oh, well, welcome to the channel. It's brilliant that you agreed to do this. Thank you so much. So just to understand, you are the casting director and director,
The casting director and the voice director on the project,
voice
yes.
director. Fantastic. So what does that entail?
So we work tightly in conjunction with Marvel and and with our partners in NetEase, and we find all the right voices to fit our heroes, and then we put them in the booth, and I guide them through the process, make sure everybody's saying their lines loud and proud, or with the level of emotion that we need them to be at. And yeah, it's pretty much my day. It's for kids that grew up reading comics, it's pretty much a dream
I
job.
was gonna say that sounds absolutely brilliant seeing the characters out in the game basically come to life.
Yeah.
Because obviously I've spoken to a few voice actors. May I just say, lovely people as well. The people that you've
Thank
got
you.
on this project, they are fantastic people. They love the community, which I think is a really nice thing. Like they don't just perform and then like hide. Like you can see everyone kind of pushing, like, yeah, this game, and it's amazing to watch it grow as well. Which is brilliant. So just out of interest, how does the casting process work? Like, obviously, I know that probably thousands of people audition and stuff like that.
Sure. So, for this project, this is like not our first time partnering with Marvel on work, and so like we've gotten pretty familiar with their process, what their needs are as well. We also have we've been working together with NetEase for like 10 years, so this will be our 10th year actually. So like we've developed like a really good rhythm with them as well. And for the casting process, either it's coming from this character, we felt that this actor really represented them well in the past. Like
Mm.
for me, it's like Fred is my Hulk. Like, like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
just
Fred
yeah.
is, yeah.
Yeah, so like there's certain actors, certain voices that really like own the role to a degree where it's like I can't unhear them, right? Or there's opportunities too where we have characters that have either never been voiced before or like have been voiced in different mediums that have different requirements, or that the character style was done differently. So we get to revisit those. And for that, we do our pretty standard casting process. Like we'll create the audition materials. They're called sides. So we'll put out sides of a little bit of the bio of the character, a few sample lines. We send them out to the agencies that we partner with. They collect the reads from the actors, and then our casting team goes through, listens to everything, every audition, which for an IP like this, it's a lengthy
Yeah,
process.
I
A
can
lot of really,
100,
really
I can
talented
imagine.
people tend to come out and put their best efforts into this. So yeah. Then from that, we chip away at it until we figure out, who among the phenomenal pool of talent is really going to be the right fit for this particular iteration of the character and project.
And obviously, you mentioned reading comics. So I can only imagine, like I said earlier, about watching these characters come to life. I can only imagine that some of the characters that haven't had that much of like an exposure in media, I think, like, I bet that's really nice to see come to life.
Man, that first Jeff the Land Shark session, it was wild, right? Like so like that stuff's pretty cool. So yeah, of course. And you know, it's funny, like there's been a lot of hype for Luna Snow, and it's like that's a character that we launched for Marvel Super Wars, but that was a project that never really made a global impact. So
Yeah.
this is the first time like the rest of the world are getting to interact with her. So like that kind of stuff's really cool to me. But yeah, I mean, there's IP characters that have lived in my heart since I was, since I was a kid. So it's extra fun. I remember the first time I did a session I did a Spider-Man session with Yuri
Oh yeah.
on Super War. And it was like he had just started voicing that role too, and it was like first line, like he looked at me, I looked at him, and we've known each other a long time before that even. And he looked at my face and was just like, I know, right? I'm like, oh my, like, because at the end of the day, we're all nerds. We all love
Yeah,
this stuff.
yeah,
Like,
it's
this is
brilliant.
this is we can kind of like sense our own, I think.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I mean, speaking with a liar about Bucky, obviously the first person I had on the channel, speaking to him about Bucky and the want he has to learn more, it's so brilliant because Bucky's such like a he's quite a staple character in Marvel. You know, obviously with the newer films coming out with the MCU and stuff as well, a lot more people have grown to love Bucky. And watching the person who voices him want to learn more about the character and grow with the character is just it's such a beautiful thing to watch as a nerd. You know,
Yeah.
it's so amazing just to see just this, the interest bloom and it just absolutely spread. And there's so many people out there now that are picking out new characters like Luna Snow, and it's so brilliant to watch as well because it's so nice to have that like avenue that you can go down to find a character and then
Mhm.
explore the character. And it just helps because it grows the community even more and it's brilliant.
Yeah.
So I have to ask, who's your favorite Marvel character?
Man, that's a tough question. So like I grew up in the 80s and for
Hmm.
me like it's never gonna make it into the game. But so for me
Spoilers.
like what got me into Marvel in the first place was like I was a huge Transformers nerd,
Oh,
right?
okay.
And so like Marvel had that insanely good run with Transformers and with G.I. Joe. And sometimes they do crossovers and stuff and it'd be amazing, right? So a lot of my like initial stuff came from there. So the characters that are nearest and dearest to my heart that are from that era are like embedded in those IPs. But through that avenue, that's what got me. That was like the bait, right?
Hmm.
So I would go down to our comic book shop and I would hang out, and that's how I kind of got into X-Men. And like I was so big on X-Men, I was so big on Fantastic Four, and I was so big on Spider-Man. Because it's like, I don't know, I live in LA, but I'm a New Yorker, and like so like those are heroes that really like
Yeah.
felt for me, you got Westchester, so a little upstate representation, right? And you got the kids in the city. So for me though, of like the characters that we've gotten to record, that I've been like, I will fight tooth and nail to make sure that every single thing that comes out of this character's mouth like fully represents kind of like my love for my city and for the characters. The Thing.
The
I
thing,
love Ben
yeah.
Grimm from the bottom of my
Ben
heart,
Grimm
man.
is
Like that,
brilliant.
yeah. Yeah, man. That's my jam. So yeah.
And Andrew nails the Ben Grimm voice.
That was one of those roles that we had the privilege of being able to recast for and like find the develop the right voice for this because like the aggressiveness of this game is so like above what's been done in animation and
Hmm.
other even in other games a lot too. So like we got to go back to the well for that one, and it was really important to me that we find like the right thing. And yeah, Andrew, man, I've worked with him a lot over the years, but like man, he came alive on that, and like every word out of his mouth like really just like hit home for me.
Yeah, and he really embodies the thing really, really well as well.
Yeah.
So, obviously being a big fan of these properties and being like a nerd, when you're directing it, like obviously you're using memory banks full of comics and stuff. So what's like I just kind of want to ask and then I'm going to go back, but what's one of your favorite notes you've given? If you've given a note like to go, this is how like this is the comic, like this is how it'll sound. You don't have to name names or characters. I just
No, no, it won't. But I'd say for me, like a lot of the times what ends up happening is like everyone's so pumped. And so for me, a big part of my job, especially like in the conversations and in like other more intimate moments, is to dial it down, right? Is to bring people back, leave room so that when we get into combat and especially when we get into ultimate, there's enough dynamicism where we're really like creating special moments instead of having like a more linear kind of homogeneous
Mm.
sonic environment. So yeah.
That's brilliant. That's a fantastic answer. I love
Oh,
that
thanks.
because I had the same like you can see that. when you're playing the game. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it in one of my previous interviews as well, where the characters have those stoic lines and they're nice and softly spoken, and then you can see the change when it gets into combat and they're fighting. You can hear the noises and stuff, and then with the ultimate lines, it's like that's the final bit. That's the bit that you've got to smash through. And you can hear it, and yeah, no, yeah, 100%, yeah, that was smashing because you can
Yeah.
hear that when you listen to the conversations between characters and all that. I mean, notably the conversations between like Reed and Sue with the running joke of Reed being completely oblivious to what Sue's saying. He's like, "You said you wanted a date night, and what's better than saving the world?" And she's like, "Anything else?"
So one of my favorite things working on this project is it's not just me alone, like, in a box with the actors. Like I've also got like the support of like, like Nettie's and Marvel on the call, and we're like we're hashing it out and figuring everything out. I get to have the best, nerdiest conversations. Like Dakota is like our project manager on the Marvel side, and like man, we have like the best digressions.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, but it's all in service of the product, right? So we do spend a lot of time thinking about like, okay, cool. So are they from the same multiverse? Like, are they what is
Mm.
their relationship with like for example, like what is Reed's relationship with his Sue like? And what is Sue's relationship with her Reed like? And everybody dislikes Namor, so that's easy. Sorry, Daniel, just messing.
We love Namor. I had to get Namor to Lord just to speak to Daniel, and that felt like a
Yeah.
very Namor thing.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Show me your devotion.
So yeah, it's we embedded like a little like thing. I'm sure the internet already figured it out, but like so literally everybody in the game calls him Namor, but he pronounces his own name Namor. And so like we wrote in a line like in the session to be like, okay, we have to address this. So he's just like, everybody mispronounces my name, and it's like it's
That's
stuck. So
brilliant.
now everybody just rips him, it's great.
I love that. I love that because even during my interview with Daniel, I asked him if it's pronounced Namor or Namor because I, during the interview, kept saying Namor. And that's because I play Reed a lot and he always goes Namor. And it's that's
Yeah.
it. There was a reason behind it, and I
We
find
put
that
those
brilliant.
little like those little moments to me are what make things like this special, and to kind of signal that like we're making this from a place of love, from a place of real care about the IP, because like those things matter to
Mm,
me anyway. I
100%.
don't know.
And you can really see the love in the project. It's definitely a passion project, and you can see how much like the developers and like I said, the voice actors themselves, you guys and the fans themselves as well, you can see the love that's just shared around the community and the fact that everyone's like, yeah, we got the thing in a trench coat, we got the maker. Whoa, we got Malice. Like, yeah, lots of Fantastic Four references going on. We got
Yeah.
Human Torch in the negative zone kind of thing. And it's just brilliant because you see the excitement that people get over these skins and like the
Yeah.
lore behind the skins. And I mean, it's brilliant. And one thing I will quickly digress to as well is I love the fact that other games are referencing the game. So, for instance, Fortnite recently released the Winter Soldier skin, and on the backpack thing, it says "Armed and Dangerous," and I think that is brilliant.
Man, see, that's the thing is there's so much going on. I didn't even know that. You're telling me
You didn't
news,
know
and I'm
that?
like, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Bucky's alt line is the description for an item in another game,
That's
which is
that's that's
awesome.
awesome. That is awesome. I think there's like a donut shop here in LA or something that a couple of the actors found that were like
Yep.
naming things after. Yeah, it's just like that's so
So that
wild,
was that
man.
was that was Danny Trejo's donut shop, I think.
Yeah,
And he
that's
had
right. That's right.
what was it now? Was it the Charmed and Dangerous?
Charmed and
There was
dangerous.
there was a golden donut, and then
Yeah.
there was see the thing is as well, I said this to Daniel, whenever I look at donuts now, like a glazed donut, all I have in my head is an icing ally awaits. Because it's just in your head, because I've seen it and I've heard it, and it's one of those little things that it's like a trigger now. I walk past
Mm.
the donut shop, I'm like, Namor, get out of my head.
What I love is like so I've been doing this a little over like 20 years, like
Mm,
specifically directing voiceover for video games. And so like I've worked on a lot of projects that have either like hit obscurity. I've worked on a couple of really big hits that are like universally loved. This is one of those projects though where it's like not only is the fan base and like the IP holders and the developers, but the cast too are really just
Mm.
like are loving the IP and each other. And that's kind of a
Yes.
wonderful thing is like, like everybody's like really friend, not just beyond friendly with each other, like
Yeah.
everybody's like really like, there's a care for each other in the project. The cast members have like sought each other out and like hang out now on the regular, and
It's
that's
brilliant.
wild to me. So yeah, it's cool. Yeah, yeah.
One of my favorite things was when I spoke to Ian, who, as I told him at that point, that whenever I read a Fantastic Four comic now, that's the voice I use in like my head. The fact that he isn't particularly a massive comic book fan, but he's embodied the Reed Richards-ness of it all because there was that event that they did, and I remember I think it was Jordan, Daniel, and Ian did a video in
Hmm.
reference to obviously the Oscars. And you had Ian walk up to Daniel, he proper slapped him. That wasn't act. That was a
Oh
smack.
man, dude,
You
they
heard the
showed me
smack.
that video. Yeah, they showed me that video, and I was like, "What are you guys doing? That's wild!" Yeah, yeah.
Everyone loved it,
Hmm.
and it's oh,
Man,
it's
I
it's
feel like
honestly it's lovely.
yeah, that was good. Yeah, it's fun.
And it's something
Nah,
like he turns around to us and he goes, "Keep my wife's name out your mouth," and then
that's what it
and
was.
he just goes,
Well,
"Fantastic."
also Daniel makes all those t-shirts and stuff,
Yeah, with the
man.
with
Like
the
it's
with the
it's
suit.
wild. But then there's then there's like the actor side meta lore too, where I'm just like, ooh, I wonder if Storm would get involved because Mara and Jordan and then like this just
And it's that the
yeah.
brain, the thought process behind it, thinking, okay, how can I?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, honestly, it's the game itself and everyone around it. It's such a positive environment. I genuinely don't think, and I've said this before, I genuinely don't think I've seen a negative person or met a
Yeah.
negative person, and it's amazing to see because there's usually one. There's usually one person who plays the game, but oh, I hate the game, but they play it every day.
So I have two older kids, right? And like my son is like he's more of a sports guy. So
Hmm.
like even with video games, right? So like we don't often have a lot of overlap. Like, and like I love sports. So like we talk about that, but as far as professionally and my work and stuff, like, he doesn't really get to see
Yeah.
what I do through the cool lens. Like my daughter, she's like, like, oh, anime and comic books and all this stuff. So she's always like, yeah,
Oh,
dude,
that's
what you do
awesome.
is cool. But so with Rivals though, he's just like, yo, this is actually like a big game. I'm like, man, we've had so many big shut up, but also like seeing him engage with it positively too, like somebody who's so outside of the sphere of like comics and even like the cinematic universe and stuff too. Like the esports side of it has really kind of like
Yeah.
woven into like his personal channels and algorithms. And so like he's hyped about it. And so it's just like it's a whole thing.
See, but that's awesome. That's
And
brilliant,
also it's
isn't
like
it?
it's one of those times too where it's like it's not just in like a Western market that we're really like having great success and great fandom. Like this is a truly global fandom,
It really
which has
is.
been fantastic. So yeah, I like
And
that a lot.
and the fact it just feels like it's just growing and growing. Like it's just snowballing. I genuinely think the momentum that it's had since the alpha launched. I mean, I remember being excited about the alpha. I didn't get an alpha
Hmm.
key. I didn't get an alpha key or a beta key. That's all right.
Well, I'm
But
not the person to
you
talk
know
to
what?
about
Do you know
that.
what?
But
December the 6th was such a brilliant day. And I remember being so excited. And it was just so full. And it was like, oh my gosh, it's launching, get it downloaded. And I mean, I've said this before as well, though, but the amount of characters you guys had at launch was phenomenal. And the work that must have gone behind all that as well to get all the voice lines and everything. And just, I think it's brilliant. And it's exploded since then. I mean, I think they're reverting back to season zero or something. There's battle passes coming back for people that missed it. So you've got
that's
it's
yeah.
brilliant.
No, you are so right about the crazy amounts of work to go into it because it's like I mean making a video game is hard enough. Making a live service game that's like
Mm.
this with continual updates and everything like it's a machine, man. And again, like I've been working with NetEase for like coming up on 10 years. Right before launch, I did a big China trip, visited a lot of clients, like hopped in over in Guangzhou. And like the last time I visited them was pre-pandemic.
Mm.
And they were in like the old offices in like Tianhe, and Tianhe. And then so I hadn't been to the new, like they built up like a huge campus worth of
Wow.
offices. It's gorgeous. But like so many people are working on this project.
Yeah,
Like it was so I did a hands-on demo over there before launch with all the characters and
I
stuff.
bet
And
that was fun.
no, it's not fun. You got a room full of people watching you try and struggle your way through through the game. You're just like, man, I want to suck in
It's
private, you
just
know? Like
pressure.
everybody has to be really polite, like, oh, you're doing a good job.
Oh,
Like,
good
no, I'm
job. You're
not.
doing great. It's just no. I keep dying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So but yeah, no, it's just like dude, like I was talking before a little bit just like about like all the love that we're putting into this
Mm.
thing and like just man, dude, the team that we work with over there, like, you know, like we mostly we work with like project managers like Cecilia, and we work with Mia, like the narrative team and stuff. There's a bunch of cats over there that like we work with who are just absolutely flipping phenomenal. My team works with Pei Feng and she's great, but they're all Marvel people. Like they
Oh, and
love this
that's
IP. And
brilliant.
so it's
That's
just
what you need.
like we've got like our own like sidebar like WeChat thread of just like Marvel memes basically
I
at this
love it.
point.
I love the insider knowledge.
Yeah,
And do you know what I love? Do you know what I absolutely adore? And that's the fact that I believe everybody that works on this game or is involved in this game in some way is just the same as all the fans. Like, because I've got a group chat where me and my friends send memes to each other about Marvel. We discuss the new films coming out. We discuss new characters coming out in the game. And it's just it's brilliant to know that it's the same no matter where you look within the game. Everyone's just a big old nerd.
Yeah, it's totally like that. And what's great too is like now the internet's doing our jobs for us, socially as it were. So like we'll see like cool Marvel rivals like stuff and like, you know, snap it to each other or WeChat it to each other or whatever. It's just like,
That's
oh man,
so
did you see this?
cool.
I know,
That's
right?
so
Like, yeah.
cool. I love it. I absolutely, that's just brilliant. And I think as well, having like the voice actors stream the game is just brilliant. Watching them play the game, and then it's so brilliant to see the fact that everyone's getting enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
It's such a nice thing. It's just
It
it's just
it
brilliant.
really is. And like, ah man, I just I don't know. Like I said, I've been a part of projects before that have had like, you know, like a big amount of love, but
Mm,
this is like this is
it's
universal and
insane.
this is crazy. Yeah.
But I bet it's brilliant to be a part of the project and having this
Man,
much love.
I'm doing physical therapy right now for my foot, right? And like my doctor found out that I'm that I'm working on this. He's like, you know, your foot will feel a lot better, a lot faster if Iron Man gets buffs. I'm just like, I'll pass that along, man. Like,
That sounds like blackmail.
yeah, I'm like, doesn't that there's some sort of HIPAA violation in there somewhere,
Are
right?
you holding back healthcare just so Iron Man gets
Like, are
buff?
you messing up my foot until this
He's
happens?
undoing all the work. Next time we see me, he's gonna go, Iron Man's still not buffed.
Not true though. He got buffed recently.
He did. Is that
And
because of your
so,
foot?
well, that's what I told him. I was like, well, you know, I made that happen, so you better hold up your end of the bargain, buddy.
My foot still hurts. What's going on here?
Yeah.
Hello, yeah. Sorry, Iron Man needs to be nerved, please.
Yeah. Just, you know, make it happen.
Take away all his abilities.
Yeah. Just
He's the
power him
spectator.
down.
Just have Tony Stark as a playable character just walking around in a
Yeah.
suit. There he goes his nose.
Play everyone is Magneto. No, he's great. I don't want to disparage him. It's amazing.
Ooh.
Hmm. Oh yeah, professional. Let's we're
Acting.
serious
Acting.
individuals.
I'm gonna try and get a question. Sorry.
Good fucking luck.
It's what I do here. Keep the conversation light. It's
Mhm.
important. It's important. Quick side note, the fact that you told me that you enjoy my content was like, I'm pretty sure I just kind of exploded a little bit because having such
Ah,
a big person that's behind the game watch these videos is mental. Because this whole channel came from the game, in a sense.
big
Like
person. I sit in a room and tell people to be louder or softer. Like,
you meet them all. That's cool. You get to
and
meet them.
my team does most of the work for me at this point, if I'm being honest. So yeah, but I appreciate. I know what you're
Hey,
saying. I
hey, it's
appreciate it.
cool. It's cool. You get to interact with these people. I mean, you get to meet
Yeah.
like legends as well.
I
You
worked
know,
hard and I'm a little blessed, you know, it's a little luck, it's a little skill, it's a little just good old hard work.
it's
But, you know,
brilliant.
getting here was it was worth it because these days it's just I just get to go. Here's the thing. A little over 20 years ago, I sat in my first VO session. I was a recordist. I wasn't doing
Mm.
any of the directing. Um but I got pulled in as like a pinch hitter while you know these guys at the studio wanted to go on vacation. So I was recording for them over the holidays and I'm sitting there, I'm like I'm listening to the director talk to like the producer over the phone and they're like really stumbling through this stuff. And I'm like, man, I could do a better job than this. And like, I mean, not to disparage them, they were doing the best that they had at the time. Remember, this is also in like the, you know, like the early 2000s.
Mm.
And so we weren't anywhere near where we are with, you know, not just video games, but also just like animation dub and everything else. So they were like, you know, working off a spreadsheet, doing the best they could, but I'm just like, I feel like I could do this. And I came up out of theater and like all that. So it was just sort of like, this feels really right.
Mm.
And in my head, I was like, all right, I got to push into this a little bit. So, you know, good New Yorker that I am, I had my day job and then I had like six night jobs. And so I just added one, which was, you know, push into this. Got involved with got involved with a bunch of stuff back in New York in the day. And I remember after the first time like directing my first like VO session, very shortly after, scarily enough, there was not a lot of competition back then. I was like, this is something I want to do for the rest of my life. I could easily see myself being happy doing the rest of my life. And I still am. So I guess, you know, young 20s me knew something.
You had an itch and you scratched it, and look where you are now.
Yeah, man. So yeah,
It's
that's pretty
so
much it.
awesome. It's so
Now I'm
awesome.
helping, you know, bring up a new generation of directors and audio personnel and stuff over here at my company, and it's like this is the dream, man.
It's
So
so
yeah,
cool. It's
yeah.
honestly, it's so cool. And you already answered one of the questions I was going to ask, which was how did you get into it? And but do you have any tips for anybody that wants to get into it?
So here's the thing. I do a lot of lecturing, conferences and stuff like that. I get that question all the time. And it's like how I got in and how other people are going to get in now, two totally different worlds, right? Like
Hmm.
my stories are funny and cute, but also impossible in today's world. It was the right place at right time, and that's a big part of the luck component
Hmm.
into how I ended up in this space. But for people that are trying to get into this space now, there's a lot of overlap between the things that I had to do too, you know. It's about making personal connections. It's about getting some mentorship, you know, putting yourself in the right places at the right times, you know. Conferences are a good help for that. You know, now if you're just breaking in, no matter what you're doing, right? If it, in life, not just in, you know, this specific lane, no matter what you're doing in life, the first step needs to be, you know, knowledge acquisition. So just absorbing as much information as you can, getting into conferences, absorbing online website stuff, you know, be skeptical about things that you have to pay a lot of money for, like ask around and make sure, validate and verify that those are actually good sources. But when you get a few confirmations of like, yeah, this is right from people that have actually done it and succeeded, then you know, step two might be to start investing a little bit like, you know, financially if you feel like that's part of your path. There's something that wasn't around when I was getting into this is there's schools for this kind of
Mm.
stuff. I can't, necessarily point to any and say that they're good or bad because I haven't personally had
Yeah,
experience with them. But like, yeah, so education is the foundation of this. But then also, networking both up and down, right?
yeah.
So it's like, of course you want to, find people that are doing it and doing what you want to do and kind of absorbing lessons from them. Be respectful, right? It's just like, like everybody's that I know is like really friendly and wants to help and give their time and stuff, myself included. Our time is just limited, right? So it's like, hey, could we sometime do a 30-minute Zoom and I pick your brain? Maybe. Or maybe I might know somebody who'd be a better fit for you, right? Like things like that. That kind of thing.
You got
But remember that the people that you're also coming in with will also be the people that are important to you along your career. So it's just kind of like the like, be nice kind of rule, right? So like be yourself all the time and hopefully yourself is nice.
fingers crossed that it'd be good. It'd be good if everybody was nice. It would be a much better world if
I
everyone
don't
was
feel
nice
like
all the
there's a
time.
reason not to be.
That's the thing. That's the
Like
thing.
you can do this and not be an asshole. I don't
Just
understand.
smile. Just
Yeah.
smile. Have a laugh. We were literally just laughing about is it a chiropodist that does feet? That sounds about right. I'm gonna say chiropodist, and then I'm gonna edit it out if I got it wrong.
Podiatrist?
What's a chiropodist?
I don't think I've
It's
heard the
okay.
term. You might
It's
have
okay. It might be a British term. It might be one of our Brits terms of a chiropodist, a
I believe it.
podiatrist. You know what? Either way, the chiropodist, you know, has to buff Iron Man, and it's just being nice, being friendly. He found out who you were, and he was like, "Hey, I know you know people."
Yeah, we had that rapport. We're good. We had a stat. It wasn't the first thing he said. Let's put it that
The
way.
first thing, first appointment, he sees your name on the appointment card. He goes, right, I'm just gonna look at. Oh, well.
I mean, you gotta talk about something while you're getting your foot rubbed by a
Yeah,
stranger, right? Like that's kind of go like
100%.
goes with goes with the territory.
This is just funny.
Yeah.
It's gonna be 20 minutes of us laughing about the Iron Man foot guy.
Did nobody warn you that this is how interviews with me go? So one of the things that I do in session that drives Dakota from Marvel nuts is like specifically with the New York characters, like we'll put in lines like they'll have in lines like I think there's a thing line, right? He'll be like, "Here comes the four train," or like whatever it is. And I'm like, the four train doesn't go to the stop where they are.
Right. So when it came to having the actors in the game voicing characters, for instance, like Steve Blum doing Venom and Wolverine, were there any other actors that have voiced certain roles that you thought, well, this is a really good voice. I want to use it for this character as well. Because obviously you've got like Susie doing Herbie as well as the Invisible Woman, and obviously Ian doing Mr. Fantastic and Bats. And you've got, like these legacy characters like Kate Higgins, where, they've brought these characters to life before. Was there any other actors where you've got that kind of, I don't know, like hunch or itch where you're like, I want this person to voice this character as well?
We definitely have those conversations behind the scenes. They're not something I'm at liberty to discuss, especially because some of them are for characters that are unannounced yet
Mm,
or are in the works. But yeah, we definitely like have people that we point to, but it is a collaboration. So like a lot of times what will happen is either like me or someone from Marvel or someone from NetEase will like have an idea and we'll like shoot it to each other and be
mm.
like, oh, wouldn't so and so be really good for this character? And it's just like, yeah, they totally would. Or like maybe like so
And that's
and so
brilliant.
we do have those conversations, but I really for roles where the like sort of like ownership of the role is either open or like
Mm.
is like maybe this won't be a good fit for this style of gameplay or whatever, where I know that we're going to be casting for the role. for those, it's really important to me that even if we have people in mind, that we also weigh our options against against anybody who wants to present themselves for that role. I
Hmm.
strongly believe in meritocratic casting and not so much nepotism. And so like it's important to me that we get the sides out, that we get auditions in. Sometimes I'm not gonna lie, there's gonna be some bias, like where
Hmm.
we'll be like, oh, this person really is right for this role. And if they make it up the chain, then great. And what I tend to do is like I don't tell my like the rest of my casting team about the side conversations that I'm having with either like Marvel or NetEase or whoever. That way, if those actors come up organically through the process, it's a really good sign to me that we were onto something, right?
Yeah,
And
that
then it's
yeah.
an easy sell to be like, okay, cool, let's weigh them against our finalists. And yeah, it checks out. Like this person really is the perfect fit for this role. Because to me, it's I've been doing this a very long time. I've
Yeah.
made friends with a lot of like really cool, amazing voice actors,
Yeah.
and it's not enough for me, I guess. I'm a little greedy. Like I still want to get to know more people and have the
Yeah.
experience of working with new actors as well. Because it's a long I intend to have a long career and I don't want to be, pigeonholed into working with the same people over and over
These
again
five
as much
people,
as
yeah.
I love them. Now there's some people that like, they might be just be the perfect person for the role, right? Like
Yeah.
Yuri. Like it's just
Yeah.
like
Spider-Man.
yeah, right? So it's just like
Yeah.
that's fun.
People are used to his
Um
voice as Spider-Man.
yeah.
He should be Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly. And so
Yeah.
like that's, it works for me. Or like there's people like this is my first time working with Milana as Squirrel Girl, right?
Mm.
And so like, I've had other opportunities with Squirrel Girl that were like cast with different people over the years, like, but this really was the first time it was just like, oh no, I get it. Like this is the right person for this
Yeah, for
particular
this
iteration.
iteration of Squirrel Girl, yeah. Which I will
Yeah.
just add is an hilarious character. I think
Oh
everything
man,
about
are
Squirrel
you
Girl is just
kidding? Yeah.
funny. The jumping where it goes, wee! I love
Yeah,
that.
I love all of like the sort of like I mean like the sort of fan servicey characters a little bit, like I love Gwenpool in the comics and things like that, where we're like breaking fourth wall or being a little tongue in cheek about the
Yeah.
fandom, like things like that like really get to me, you know. I don't know. Long format storytelling is something that I don't think people grok as well as they think they do. It's a very difficult thing to hold a person's
Mm.
interest in an IP or in a medium for a very long time. Now, I'm going to say something extremely controversial that a lot of people are going to be like, "That's weird.
Oh,
We
this is
thought he was a smart
exciting.
guy." I don't care what you think. I have been a wrestling fan like for my entire life, in addition to all these other IPs, right? And I feel like that to me is like a perfect example of long format storytelling. You like trying to watch WrestleMania with somebody who's never watched wrestling before, your attention is split between like, okay, I don't have to justify how cool this is because you can see it on the screen, but also now I have to answer like, no, you don't understand. 20 years ago, this happened, and then like, so it's the same with comics, right? These
Yeah,
types of characters,
100%.
though, Squirrel Girl, Gwenpool, whoever they bring the audience with them in a
Yeah.
way that the more serious characters cannot. And so it's a very like it's a very established trope in through the years this is the puck, right? This is the
Mhm.
audience is carried through the mischief maker or through the fourth wall breaker.
Yeah.
And so
See, so one thing I really love about the Squirrel Girl character, and it's a line that's in the game, is the reference to her beating Galactus. Like, because that happened in the comics, and it was brilliant. Because it's just like she says it to Reed, and Reed's like, "Yep, we saw it on the socials." It's like in my head, all I can imagine is Squirrel Girl after that encounter just went straight to her phone, going, "Just beat Galactus by making him
yeah,
my friend."
Selfie.
Lol. It's like,
In my head
did the
canon,
surfer see
it's just
it?
yeah, it's in my head canon, it's just her and Galacta palling around, they're taking selfies. It's yeah, it's just like, thank God Dad's not here. Like
Jeez.
head canon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, 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 that should be canon.
Well, there are some small things that I take personal pride in, but like, so I made damn sure that the Moon Knight Dracula thing made it
Yes!
into the real
I'm so
world.
glad that was you. Because Eric
There
and I
were
were
so
joking
many,
about that.
there was so many groans on the call. They're like, nope, we're doing this.
The $5. The $5 that Dracula owns Moon Knight, it is canon.
Like, if I'm gonna make one contribution to all of Marvel, it's gonna be this. It's
I
gonna be
will be
making this
remembered for
stupid
one
thing
thing.
real.
And everybody lost their minds about it as well. And it was brilliant because everyone was like, yes, Moon
This
Knight,
with a game
$5.
like this, with this type of IP, it's really important. Like you've got a lot of information coming at you, and
Mm,
that's really like the main thing with game dialogue, right? So it's like game dialogue is there to deliver information
hmm.
constantly. Because I mean, like for a lot of neuroscience, but also like the brief answer is that our oral response is slightly faster than our visual response, so it becomes extremely important this information being delivered through not just the words being said, but also the emotion, the intensity it's being said at. And so when it comes to things like that, though, it's important to have, moments of stickiness in the lines, right? Like where it's just like, did I just hear that right? Or like, oh my God, right? To
You have
have
to
those
take a
entertainment
second.
moments that are layered on top of the information.
Mm,
Yeah.
100%. And I think the voice lines in the game absolutely nail that. I genuinely think like you've got these really like lore-filled interactions, and then you've also got the ones where like Dracula owes
Yeah.
me $5.
Some of my favorite lines of dialogue to record on this project are the like we call them like the Easter eggs. Like so when a character is in an environment with an object that resonates with them, right? And it's just like and just has a note to self as they walk past it or whatever. That kind of stuff I love because that's where we get to really like we're not delivering information that's gameplays intense,
Yeah,
so we have more liberty to really show the character personality more through those moments. Or in the like, you know, one teammate picks one character, another teammate picks another matching character, and then you have that overlap in that conversational space. That
yeah,
those moments are where we get to really like bring the IP to life and bring out those more like heartfelt moments.
yeah.
So
I mean, there's references between like Nat and Bucky and Cap and Bucky, which give so much background. And I believe I said this in one of my first interviews, and it's such a little line. They're so like quick. It's before the game starts, and you can hear them out of earshot. You might be joking around with your friends or something. You hear them out of earshot, like, wait a second. And then you look into it. Like, I know there's so many people out there that are gutted that we never got like the Bucky and Nat storyline in the films. And it's nice
yeah.
because you get the reference in the game and people are like, oh my gosh, yes, yes, fantastic. And then you get the nice little bits between like, Cap and Bucky. Because obviously the Cap's he's a lot of characters have these interactions with him where they're like, our Captain America and my Captain America and stuff like this. And it's brilliant because you have these little like notations, the fact that every single Captain America, besides one, because Hydra Cap does exist in the multiverse, every single Captain America is just this beacon of freedom and liberty. And that's what Captain America is. And it's brilliant because these lines show that and again rooting back to the fact that we're all nerds and
Yeah.
everyone working within it, and it's lovely to see that being portrayed through lines and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
it's brilliant.
Yep. I completely agree. And to, you know what? No, you summed it up really nicely. I have nothing to add to that.
Damn, whoa. So okay, obviously you probably have insider knowledge, but is there a character that you'd love to see in the game, and is it a British character, and would you hire me? Because the answer would be yes.
There's a
Black
lot of
Knight,
layers to
Captain
that question.
Britain.
Um, of course there's characters that I want to see in the game, but the problem with me is I'm like a mischievous troll, so I always think of dumb characters like, strong guy or like weirdos from like X-Men in the
What
past,
about
right?
the X-Man?
Yeah.
X-Man.
Honestly, you know who I think would be a really good, and so this has no bearing on whether or not this character will
Yeah, yeah.
ever appear in this
Just
game
I'm
or
gonna put an
not,
alert
but I
here.
would love to see Multiple Man in something like this, right? Like that's a crazy
That would be
awesome
so
power,
cool.
right? Or
That would be cool.
Nightcrawler, because like just think about it, the arcade game, like that was such a
Everyone
OP
wants
character.
Nightcrawler.
Everybody played Wolverine, but the reals played Nightcrawler. But yeah.
Everyone
So
knows.
yeah, of course,
Everyone wants Nightcrawler.
there's a million characters I'd love to see in this game. I personally would love to see Jubilee in this game. Like
I've said
she,
Jubilee. That would be a brilliant character.
right? Yeah. So
I so
like,
right, quick one then. Jubilee, ultimate, blinds the enemy team. Boom. Fireworks
so
everywhere.
people forget that she's an Omega level
She's
mutant.
so
Like,
powerful. Watch the
yeah,
cartoon. Read a comic book.
right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
You
yeah,
didn't
I'd love to
mention any
see
UK
that,
characters,
especially
so I'm quite sad there.
yeah. So, yeah. Do I have one though? No. Do I have like an entire
An
universe of
absolute
characters?
like
Yeah.
pantheon full of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yup.
Well, if you want any UK characters, you know where I am.
Yeah. Just try like I keep whenever a question like this comes up, all my brain wants to do is throw dumb characters like Modoc.
Oh, Modoc would not be dumb. Modoc would be awesome. Oh, okay, okay. I do have to
The
ask though.
whole Mojo verse needs to like infiltrate.
With the Elvis costume.
Yes.
That's his base skin. That's his base one, the Elvis costume.
Yeah, yeah. There's
But he has an Elvis voice.
for Super War we got to put in Howard the Duck, and that was such a
Howard the
joy
Duck,
for
man.
me.
Oh, he's Seth Green though.
So
Get
yeah, it's
Seth
just
Green.
like it's yeah, man. There's a million. So, but we
Honestly,
have so
there's
many
so
good
many great
ones too.
characters. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
you mean coming?
I mean, obviously, but also that we have in there as well. But yeah, no, some of the ones that are coming, I'm real stoked for.
I can't wait, and I'm sure everyone else can't wait. I mean,
Mhm.
the best thing about Marvel as an IP is you've got so many characters to pick from, and you've got like the bizarre ones, you've got the serious ones, you've got the fun ones, you've got the popular ones, and you can just go right, that one.
Yep.
And people go
Yep.
mad for it because I love it when a new character releases because it means that everyone's going to click on that character no matter what. Everyone's going to try that character. It's
Yep.
brilliant. And oh man, honestly,
Yeah.
it's and every single character that comes out, watching those character trailers, displaying what they're doing, and the voice lines and the interactions, it gets you so excited. It's brilliant.
I get excited in the booth when we're doing this, where I'm just like, because we do them to picture a lot, and I'm just like, this is rad, and like the actors will see it and be like, oh my God, and so yeah,
I
it's
can
just
only imagine. I can only imagine
we
what
always
an
have to
experience
like
that is.
budget like 5 to 10 minutes for everybody to just gush over the animation and then have to have time for the team over at NetEase to be like, oh, you guys are so sweet, and we'll be like, no, no, really, it's amazing.
It's it sounds like such a brilliant environment to be in, where
This
people are
is
just happy to be there, and it's so like rewarding as well because bringing these characters to life, having that like Natise, Marvel, you guys, and everyone just going yes, and then having
yeah.
the actor go, oh my God, guys, I'm so happy that you actually really like my character because it's brilliant because and I can only imagine the feeling of watching your character in a game because that person that's voicing the character, that's their iteration, that's for time because this game I want it to last forever. That's
Yeah,
my
I
request.
feel like I was just hanging out with a bunch of people that everybody knows and loves. And it was amazing, like, because we've been doing this a long time and we get to be pals and stuff, but like sometimes I forget, like, no matter how cool they are. They're definitely more public facing, so I think they're a lot cooler than me. But like we get together and it's just like, what are we talking about? Magic the Gathering,
Whoa,
anime.
whoa!
Like
Did you just say
it's
Magic the
such a,
Gathering?
yeah,
What? Did you?
it's just
What
like yeah,
format?
we're orcs, man. Like, this is just happens to be cool now.
I love the fact that there's such a bubble of like, right, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, Warhammer, comic books, games, TV shows, cartoons, and it's brilliant because everyone you start speaking to them, they've got an interest.
Anthony, I really do have to
No,
run.
I know, I
Is there
know.
anything that you need to do to close up the show?
Just say thank you for having you here, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to you. I'm sure we will speak again. Um, Honestly, it's been brilliant. You've been fantastic. I've enjoyed just nerding out. It's amazing to see and hear the love and appreciation you have for the game and the fans and the actors that put the work in, the team behind you, yourself, and everything involved. And from everybody that plays the game and loves the game, I just want to say a massive thank you for what you and your team and Marvel and the Tees have brought because it is a genuinely amazing experience for everybody that's involved.
Thank you. Yeah,
And thank you for
man,
coming.
you made it easy. You made the conversation easy. And here's the thing is none of us got into this by accident. So it's like, when we get to talk about it, of course there's joy and it radiates because this is why we're here, right? If not, then I don't know what we're doing here.
If you don't love the thing, what are you there for? But honestly, this has been brilliant. Thank you so much for being a guest. It means everything to me.
Thanks
Um,
for having me, Anthony. Yeah, I really appreciate it.
and honestly, thank you for supporting me as well. It means so much
Yeah.
having you here, brings me content and that's what keeps me going and it brings me so much joy making these videos. So thank you. But
Cool.
you
All
have
right.
a wonderful day
Thank you so much. You too. All right. Take
and
care,
I'll
man.
see you
Bye-bye.
soon. Thank you so much.